Our next speaker, Pierre Noizat, is with the company Paymium. He's going to tell us about another innovative project called blockchain.io. Please welcome Pierre.
Thanks, Greg. Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks very much for having me. I'm the founder of Paymium. Paymium is one of the first Bitcoin startups that we established it with my co-founder in 2011. I myself have been involved in cryptography for about 25 years now because I joined a project back in 1992 that was called DirecTV here in the United States. To my knowledge, that was one of the very first large-scale commercial deployment of cryptography. And ever since, I got fascinated by this science of cryptography and followed the progress and developments up until today. I'm still learning, by the way. It's still a blooming field, and in 2008, when Bitcoin got released as almost an academic paper, it was pretty obvious that this was going to be a game changer. And when I started my company in 2011, it was pretty obvious coming from the payment system industry. Worked on, like I said, on pay TV systems for a long time. It was pretty obvious choice to go with this new technology. So we started Paymium as a Bitcoin exchange, because back in 2011, there weren't very many. In fact, the two others that existed have disappeared since then. So, in 2015, something happened. The word blockchain became popular. So we had reserved the domain name in 2012, so we felt maybe there is something to be done with this. And in 2018, we think the time is right for us to launch a crypto exchange. There are many crypto exchanges already started last year, but we felt there is still something to be done. So to tell you a bit about Paymium, I'm privileged to lead a team of outstanding people that are working with me on an exchange. It's kind of hard to run an exchange. People love to hate exchanges because it's a very useful service, but it's really a point of friction between blockchains and cryptocurrencies and, I would say, the old world. So we are blamed for all the shortcomings of the old world, that there is little we can do because, for instance, we are not moving the fiat currencies, because fiat currencies are regulated and they are moved by banks. So as an exchange, the only thing we can do is do our job on the crypto side, but fiat currencies are still a regulated island. So again, it's fascinating to be at this crossroad of the old and the new world as a fiat exchange. And what we've achieved so far since 2011, aside from being pioneers, we were backed by venture capital in 2015. We have earned the trust of roughly 170,000 customers to date, and we are profitable since 2016. We could have located the company. The company is headquartered in Paris, France, by the way, and we could have chosen another jurisdiction to find more lenient AML, KYC requirements, but we didn't. We feel exchanges need to be somewhat local. If we want to keep all these cryptocurrencies decentralized, there needs to be exchanges all over the place. If they are all in Hong Kong or the Cayman Islands, I think we have a problem. So that's why we stick to our homeland for the time being, and that has been quite successful so far. Our values are very simple. It's all about security. When we go home at night, we don't want to worry about the fact that the coins are still in the coffers the next day. So it's all about security, even at the cost of convenience, for instance. I see exchanges advertising instant withdrawals, instant processing, and all. Everything is instant. That's fine, that's very convenient, but that can be very unsecure. So there are things we do even manually if that's needs to be done just to be on the safe side. Reliability, it's also a key aspect because the Bitcoin network is incredibly reliable. It's been up since 2009 for about 100% of the time. So we can't afford to be down too often, and we try not to. And in fact, exchanges tend to go down when people need them most. That is, when there is lots of volatility, on days where there is lots of volatility. So one of the challenges is to have an infrastructure that will withstand those days when there is lots of volatility, and there are lots of other days when there is no need for all this infrastructure. But still, the value we cherish also is reliability. And last but not least, accountability. Maybe it should be phrased accounting, simply accounting, because as an exchange, it's very important to be transparent about the fact that we are solvent, that we have not been hacked. We have been running without a glitch for 5 years now. And last year we were audited by external auditors. And that's very important because in an exchange we have millions of operations to review, for auditors to review. So we want to make sure that the accounting records match, and it's boring, but it's really the only way to assess the security of an exchange, because keeping the private keys secure is not enough, obviously, if people can mess with the accounting records in the database. So again, that's a key requirement for an exchange. Okay, so where do we go from there? We have a vision. I have a vision that's shared by many people, and in fact it was pronounced by my friend Andreas before everybody else. He wrote about the Internet of Money that is being built as we speak, as we attend this conference. The Internet of Money is really the ability for people to create money for their community and share across blockchains this value. So it's a protocol stack. It's not just a one protocol. It's more than one. It's, for instance, as base layer, the Bitcoin protocol, and perhaps on layer 2, the Lightning protocol and a few others. It's other protocols that are very different, like Ethereum. But it's essentially a protocol stack, and it's a lot of infrastructure. By infrastructure, I mean wallets, exchanges, and lots of networks to convey all these transactions. So exchanges are really the hubs. The payment hubs are also part of this Internet of Money that's being built. I call it the Internet of Value because it's money is a loaded word, and it can be used against us. So I prefer to talk about Internet of Value, but you get the idea. So like I said, it's an infrastructure that's being built. It can be very complex and costly to build. And again, exchanges have a very particular role to play in this new Internet of Value. And they are really the gateway to the Internet of Value, and the way to go exchange across blockchains. So blockchain.io is the name of the crypto exchange. We branded it differently from the fiat exchange because today it's essentially not regulated, whereas the fiat exchange is very strictly regulated. So the plan for 2018 for us, it's to add the fiat currencies to Paymium. Today we deal only with euros, and to launch blockchain.io in this coming summer with, let's say, the top 5 or 10 cryptos to begin with, and later on we'll add altcoins after we assess their sustainability and a few other criteria. So it's the vision, but it's also, fortunately, there is a market to support that vision. A market that's changing very rapidly. Today, for instance, with euro, we have only we're addressing only 7% of the fiat currency market, and with Bitcoin, because with Paymium we have Bitcoin Euro, we're addressing only a third of the cryptocurrency market, because 2/3 is in altcoins today. So it's a no-brainer for us to go with the crypto exchange, where we will address the entire cryptocurrency market, and to add at least the US dollar, the Japanese yen, and perhaps the Korean won to the fiat currencies we trade on Paymium. So the cryptocurrency exchange is at the core of blockchain.io, but there are two other very important features that will set it apart from other initiatives. Decentralized settlement means simply that we want to offer people the option to trade without giving up the custody of the coins, in other words, in a non-custodial trade. It's a very important development of cryptographic protocols, because the counterparty risk presented by exchanges is a real concern for users, and they must have the option to trade while retaining the custody of the coin. So that's what we call decentralized settlement. Sometimes people talk about decentralized exchanges. I think that's a bit exaggerated, because the one thing that's hard to decentralize is the venue where all buyers and sellers gather, and that's the order book. For me, there is no benefit in decentralized order book, because it's perhaps solving a problem, but it's creating many others. So I don't think it's good design. On the contrary, it's relatively easy to offer this non-custodial trade option, and that's what we intend to do with blockchain.io. And last but not least, liquidity services, meaning there are lots of ICOs going on, and people with tokens that they would like to trade. Liquidity is a key aspect of the value offered by ICOs. If the tokens are illiquid, then there is not much to expect from the ICO. So it's a critical aspect of the services we can provide to ICO issuers, and that's what we intend to do also with blockchain.io in 2018 and the next few years. So it's about providing market-making services, perhaps auctions to help with price discovery, these type of things. It could be regulated, obviously, in the near future, but for the time being, there is not much in the books that's clearly stated by regulators. Okay, so we want, see if we go to the more details about the features. We have high performance matching, meaning even if there is high volatility on a particular day, people expect orders to be matched very efficiently. People expect all sorts of advanced orders, like limit orders, stop loss, take profit, all these fancy orders for advanced traders. Support is a key aspect of running an exchange. It's never good enough, and people have very high expectations with exchanges, especially newbies, new people coming to the cryptocurrency space. They sometimes expect us to explain how the coins work or which wallet to use, etc. We could easily provide support for wallets if we were led to do that. So it's a critical aspect of our business to be able to manage support and, if possible, continuously. Auctions I mentioned before, because price discovery is one of the big challenges of cryptocurrencies in general. No one has any idea what the real price of Bitcoin is. Today it's about 8,000 euros, but who knows what's going to be in 6 months from now. So I think we are still in the price discovery phase of these cryptocurrencies. I have, like Mr. Draper this morning, I have very high expectations for the equilibrium point. I think it's way beyond what it is today, but no one knows in reality. So auctions can help, especially with new tokens or new coins. Peer-to-peer lending is an interesting feature because people tend to leave their coins on the exchange, and the coins are dormant. So if other people they can lend their coins to other people to be for trading and earn interest by doing so, it seems to be an attractive feature. And margin trading has been a very common feature for exchanges. We stayed away from it until recently because we feel there are lots of risk with this feature, but people demand it, so we'll probably implement it in blockchain.io and propose it to at least to some users. Okay, so in a nutshell, what's the Internet of Value today? It's like we said, it's a wallet that's capable of handling lots of protocols, like a wallet that's a Lightning wallet, a Bitcoin wallet, an Ethereum wallet, and all sorts of other technologies. So the wallet is a key infrastructure component in the Internet of Value. The exchange is basically a wallet with the matching engine on top of it, but the wallet is still a requirement for all the exchanges. So we'll have this challenge of integrating all sorts of new coins coming to the market and integrating tokens also. So I mentioned here on this slide other protocols other than proof of work. Ethereum has promised to switch to proof of stake from the beginning. They've failed to deliver on that promise so far, but maybe one day they will, even though I have strong reservation on the validity of this approach, because there are lots of problems with proof of stake. Because proof of stake is typically the supply of proof of stake coins is in fact limited because there is no cost for launching a new POS coin, there is no cost to fork an existing POS coin, so there is essentially an unlimited supply of those, so it's a very questionable approach. DAG coins, those coins where there are no blocks, they are just essentially each transaction is a block. So it's a very weird approach, and we don't know if it's scalable at all. IOTA is an example of a DAG coin, but an exchange has to face the demands of the customers, and then we position ourselves as a crypto exchange. We have to support those coins. I'd love to be able to say that, for instance, to our customers that there is a working wallet, for instance, to support the coin when they trade with a particular coin. But it seems that people are happy with the fact that their coins are sitting in an exchange and never gets used with a wallet, which is, again, very, very disturbing for an engineer like myself, but that's the fact. And fiat currencies, that's what Paymium does, but clearly people at some point want to cash out and pay some merchant that's not accepting cryptocurrency yet. And that's lots of merchants today. Clearly, the experience of merchant accepting coins is really about experimenting. Most of the merchants we've served we've equipped with the ability to accept coins as a payment means, do it for again as an experiment or because they are really they want to support the inception, the adoption of cryptocurrencies. But to be honest, it's not very practical, especially when the fees go up and down, like we've observed with Bitcoin, and when there are all sorts of other problems with wallets. So it's a sport, but one day they will be used as payment means, like with, we hope, Lightning. So the exchanges will, blockchain.io will be a place where you can trade coins, and it will probably also be associated with a payment hub, like a Lightning payment hub. So that's the how we see the development of the Internet of Value unfold in the next few years. So the ambition here is to be the #1 exchange. Like I said, we believe in decentralization. So we don't believe in one mega exchange somewhere serving the entire planet or half the planet. We hope we'll keep Bitcoin and the other currencies decentralized with a number of exchanges that will be more or less cooperating to serve the community. But for Europe, we position ourselves as the leader for the next, for 2020. We believe also in the higher standards of security and accounting or accountability. It's a bit the same. We expect the regulators to ask us transparency about the books, the accounting records. So it's necessary to have this in place. We've been audited, like I said, last year by external auditors successfully. It took us really 2 years to be compliant with all the requirements of external auditors. It's a big undertaking, but now we are past that stage. And last but not least, we want to be a service company for ICO issuers. In 2017, we've been very impressed with the ICO phenomenon. I think it's a great way for companies to raise money and to, at the same time, gain a marketing campaign, a very powerful marketing tool with token holders becoming ambassadors of the project. I think it's an amazing crowdfunding platform, a global crowdfunding platform, and we're very excited with this development. So we want to, again, serve the ICO issuers with a full range of services from the ICO fundraising, the actual sale of the coins, where issuers need a platform to receive the funds securely. It's a platform that's used typically for 2 or 3 months at most, so there is no need for each issuer to build their own. They can turn to experts like blockchain.io. And then we can help also with, like I said, liquidity, market making, bootstrapping the market for this new token. That's really crucial for the success of the campaign, of the ICO campaign. So that's the ambition for blockchain.io. I hope this is something, this vision, you share this vision of building the Internet of Value for in the next few years. And I thank you very much for your attention, and I'm happy to take questions at this point.
Good afternoon. I'm Jean-Marc from Canada. Je suis français. Bonjour, Pierre. I'm going to ask my question in English for the audience. The first question is, compared to North America, you stated that you're regulated and accredited in Europe. How would you compare your situation to the current situation in North America? Because I know that for most of people here, it's not only purely by fiscal choice that they go somewhere else. It's just that there are no regulations and nobody to talk to, so they have to go somewhere else. And secondly, concerning your exchange, I would like to know Are there any citizenship limitation due to the fact that you're regulated? That's it.
Thank you. Yeah, the crypto exchange is branded blockchain.io because it's a completely different set of rules that apply to crypto exchange. As far as we know, we are regulated for the fiat part for Paymium. So Paymium will be able, the Paymium customers will be able to sign up with their and to log in to with their Paymium identity to blockchain.io, and will perform some due diligence, customer due diligence on blockchain.io customers. I don't know at this point if we have to be, for instance, the limitation on citizenship for Paymium.com customers is really imposed by the bank, by the banking partner. We don't have, so we serve basically 150 countries, and that's good enough. But for blockchain.io, there is really no limitation to by citizenship. So in a way, we could accept customers on blockchain.io that we could not serve on the fiat exchange because the bank would not open accounts for certain countries for some reason, for whatever reason the bank came up with. So I'm not sure I answer your question very clearly because the rules, please be aware that the rules for KYC and AML are changing all the time. They're changing almost every year. And if we listen to what regulators say, we should perform AML KYC due diligence every year on customers if we listen to them. So it's not going to get any better, I think, because of for all sorts of reasons. So it's really a constraint we have to live with, and we'd better get used to it.
I guess further on that, what will you require for identification for the exchange? And then separate to that, what auditing standards do you adhere to?
I'm sorry, what's the question about?
The first one was building on his question, but more specifically, what identification will you require from customers of the crypto exchange? If you have that now.
The documents you mean we require? Typically, it's an ID and a proof of residence. That's about it.
In person, or can they send it to you virtually?
It's all online. Yeah, it's all online. We don't meet with customers. Yeah.
And then the second question was what auditing standards? So when you say you have 2 years of audits, what auditing standards do you adhere to? Is it IFRS?
I'm not sure I understand your question.
So you mentioned you had 2 years of audits.
Oh yeah, okay.
Is that IFRS standards or
what
okay.
Auditing standards? No. It's Europe. It's in fact French standards. And you're right. Every country has their own standard for accounting. So wherever we are in France, so that's why we comply with French requirements for audits. Yeah.
Okay, that is the last question we can take. If you have questions for Pierre, you can connect with him after he leaves the platform, if he's available. And
we have a booth right outside.
They have a booth outside. So we're going to take a 7-minute break, and then we'll come back for our next speaker.
Thank you.